All right, just to be respectful of everyone's time, we'll get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our late afternoon webinar. Like I mentioned earlier, we had a great one earlier at noon with about 40 people in attendance. Thank you for caring about Variety, joining us today. I know we have a board member tuning in, Dave Wessel. We have a wonderful VMBer as well, too, Lauren Arner in the mix here today. So thanks to some of the leaders from our organization like Dave and Lauren for joining us. Thank you all for being partners. We appreciate you. Variety doesn't happen without having incredible partnerships here locally and across the 59 counties that we cover in Pennsylvania. We like to think that we're number one here. Not everyone might know, but Variety is now across certainly the state, across the country, and across the world. But back in the 1920s, all started right here in Pittsburgh. So we truly are number one. And yes, we have foam fingers to prove it. So we love to celebrate being where Variety got started many, many years ago, close to 100 years ago. So a lot of good things going on, certainly within Variety. It's been a special 5 or 6 days. We broke the record for the most life-changing adaptive equipment ever shared in one fiscal year. Our fiscal year starts October 1st and ends September 30th. So last week, Molly, Deanna, and I were able to announce in Armstrong County that we had broken the record at 1,050. And Kayla and I were able to share that message again last night at a wonderful presentation here in Allegheny County with the Leonard Advisor Group. So it has been programmatically the most successful fiscal year in the history of Variety, and we're really proud of that. So it's a great team that you're going to get to know over the course of the next 25 minutes or so. Deanna, Molly, and Kayla, and I've said this on a podcast, so it has to be true, but I said that they are the number one programs team in the whole country. You can check the footage. Commissioner Electra Janis from Washington County had me on her show, and I did declare them as the best programs team in the state, certainly. So we're going to focus in on My Voice today, which is a wonderful program. It's the program where we do have the most resources expendable to be able to spend and share with all of you and make sure that kids get an adaptive voice. I've got to say, I think that's Lila right there. We actually have a little girl named Lila. The partners that raised the money, the $31,000 for us over 2 years, she's at their office right now, Leonard Advisor Group, because her grandparents are clients, which in the smallest world situation is pretty amazing. Just incredible, honestly. So we're proud to get to do what we get to do. Last night, again, breaking history was amazing. We're closing in on 10,000 pieces of life-changing adaptive equipment. We're closing in on 100 years as an organization. And I'm super proud to be doing it this with Deanna, Molly, and Kayla, who you hear from today. Just for a little background, Deanna just came off a big week as a young professional finalist for the Athena Award. So that's pretty awesome. Molly Crawford started Leadership Pittsburgh last night with the LDI program. And Kayla just became a Rotarian and is becoming super involved in a lot of different community activities and events. So this is the best programs team in Pennsylvania. And with that, I'll turn it over to Deanna David, our awesome director of programs. We hope that you enjoy the seminar or the webinar, and I really do appreciate you all for tuning in.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to hear about our My Voice program. We're going to go over some updates, eligibility guidelines, as well as the application process, and leave some room for some Q&A at the end, of course. But what's really important is we wanted to make sure you are connected to us, to the programs team. So on the next slide here, you'll see make a note of where you're tuning in from. We've got all the counties listed there and your direct contact. So please make a note of who to contact directly for any questions in your county. I know I have a lot of intermediate unit SLPs and staff tuning in. So just quickly, if you're IU4, IU5, IU6, 12 or 15, you want to jot down me, write down my email, connect with me. I'm working on your applications and in your area. If it's 2, 3, or 27, the Allegheny and Beaver areas, Kayla, our wonderful program coordinator, will be taking care of you. And then everything else, Molly Crawford, she's our program manager, you'll be hearing from in a little bit. So Today, I just want to start by covering here my voice. What exactly is it? What all is included? And give you some updates. So our My Voice program, it is a restricted, dedicated communication device. We take an iPad and we make sure that it is a dedicated device to be a voice, be your child's or the child's way to communicate. It's intended to be taken from school to home to community and be their 24/7 access to communication. Currently, we use the 11th generation iPad, and we use the most updated iPads as they come out, so that changes as time goes on. And it has plenty of storage, more storage than you'll ever need for just the communication app on there, and Wi-Fi access, of course. All our devices come with a RJ Cooper case, and I left the link there in case you want to look into that, rjcooper.com. It has a nice handle and a way to prop it up. It's very protective. It has a screen protector as well. It has a nice strap so that the kids can just put it over their shoulder if they'd like and carry it with them. So that's one we've been using for years and we're very happy with protecting the devices. Of course, accidents always happen, which is why we do provide 2 years of AppleCare Plus coverage, which I'll go over what exactly that means as well, what's included there. On those devices is, of course, the communication app, the AAC app that our speech therapists are recommending. That app can be anything available in the Apple Store that a speech therapist has trialed with the child and evaluated to ensure that it's a good fit. So most of those apps are under $400. That's kind of our limit in terms of the pricing of the apps that we can provide. I haven't seen any actually recently that are anywhere near over that. So all those popular ones that you guys are all using, TD Snap, ProLoco, TouchChat, all those are available through our program. So some updates. The reason why we're doing this My Voice webinar is, and focusing on that, is because we do have thousands available. We are providing My Voice in all of our counties, and we've just want to spread the word and answer any questions so that we can effectively get these devices out to the kids who need them. Thanks to the Pennsylvania Commonwealth DCED grant, we are able to continue this program and yeah, just get as many out as we can to those who need it. We were also able to expand our eligibility a little bit, which is awesome. We now start at age 2, which thanks to all you early intervention speech therapists and providers, we heard from you that, hey, you're using devices in speech therapy early. You're using it at age 2 and you're seeing a difference. It's helping. It's helping the development of communication. So we're happy to be able to serve ages 2 through 21 now. When I say through 21, we can provide a device to a student who is 21 years old as well. So do keep that in mind. We can also expand to provide not only a second device to a child, but a third as well. So that was an exciting expansion that we made so that it continues. When technology fails, the child can get another device. We do have a 3-year waiting period between each of them. So just keep that in mind, but the communication continues through the My Voice program. Our devices, what's currently on them? So when you look at a My Voice device, what you're going to see is you're going to see that app first and foremost, right front and center, the app that the speech therapist has selected. You're going to see the camera and the photo album. We know pictures are often used for communication and used within those AAC apps. So you're going to see those on there as well. We always include Find My. So in the app library, it's usually hidden in there where you can utilize Find My, just in case the parents want to turn that on and utilize it. If they're afraid it could get lost, things like that within the school, whatever it may be. We do need, like the parent does have to activate that to get it started. So on our end, we don't turn on Find My and the location. We figure we should leave that up, the tracking, the GPS tracking up to the family if they want to turn that on. So speech therapists or those who are helping families definitely keep that in mind. I would suggest turning on Find My in case it gets misplaced, but that's totally up to the family. You'll see the files, of course, because sometimes you have to save those big files in these communication apps, the vocabularies, all those things. You'll see settings, and you'll have AirDrop will be turned on. This is a way for speech therapists and families to send pictures or the vocabulary, the different files from device to device, as well as backing up those communication boards and vocabularies. So AirDrop is on. Another update that speech therapists in particular, a lot of you are wondering about is TD Snap. There was a big panic when Tobii Dynavox switched to a subscription-based. We went through a process with them so that we are able to provide Tobii Dynavox Enterprise. It's a different version, but it's a lifetime version. So the family will not ever have to worry about subscribing or having to pay a subscription fee every month. We are able to provide that lifetime version and keep TD Snap going, which I know was a huge relief for a lot of us. It's a very popular app. So I wanted to share that update as well. Reach out to Variety, to your team member, if there's any updates needed. So this is something that we get questions about a lot. Apple makes a lot of, big updates, frequent updates, and sometimes they're so big that it throws the app off itself. The app itself may need an update, a manual update, and that requires unlocking it. So I just want to let all the speech therapists know we do have a quick, easy process in place so that you can get that device unlocked, set up or updated when you need to and get it back to where it's working again. So definitely reach out to your program's team member in your county. The AppleCare, I mentioned AppleCare coverage and that we provide 2 years of it. That is the max that we're able to purchase with Apple at the time of purchasing the iPad. That's why it's set at 2 years. But definitely anything from screens cracking to the voice output isn't working anymore to just any little thing, even tech support or the battery's not working as well. AppleCare Plus is the way to go to get it kind of diagnosed and see if it needs repaired or replaced, and going through Apple to do that so that they get a brand new device or it gets fixed. Although I will say most of the time I see that Apple is replacing rather than repairing. You can always check if the device is covered that we provide using that serial number. The serial number or the Apple ID login, actually. If you go to checkcoverage.apple.com, you log in, or you just put the serial number in, it'll tell you exactly if it's covered, and then you can start the process of requesting service. You can also You can call in, you can take it to an Apple store, whatever's easier. I like doing the checkcoverage.apple.com where you can get service. You can request a service right there. You can also add it. So if a family has had it more than 2 years and they want to add additional coverage, they can add it on there as well. I will give, a tip, a very important tip from Apple themselves. If you're calling into Apple for anything, you should definitely state if it's a Variety device, we've given it to the child and the family, and it is now their personal device. Variety doesn't do a managed system. We're not able to control them or remote in or do anything from our end to on that device. It's not managed. So when you call in, you don't want to say, this device is Variety's. You want to say, this device is this child's. And they'll take care of you much more quickly and clearly in that sense. Apple themselves told us to tell everyone that advice. I do also want to mention the service fees. There are service fees, unfortunately, but they make it a lot less expensive than if you didn't have AppleCare Plus. Most of the time, or for the devices, it's been $49. We've been recently informed the 11th generation, they've upped that to $99 if it needs replaced entirely. But we're still going to provide that AppleCare coverage, just, hoping it's helpful for those accidents that do happen and saves them some money in terms of, getting a whole new device. So that's AppleCare, and I wanted to throw in here really quick when to contact Apple, when to contact Variety. Again, we get a lot of questions about this. So things like screen cracking, things with the device, battery issues, any of those problems. If you're locked out completely, locked out, disabled, and you have to do a full reset, I would recommend contacting Apple to help you do that, or Apple Plus, AppleCare Plus. Contact Variety for sure. If it's just the app glitching, we can help you with that quickly. If you say you receive a new device, then you log in, and it's all reset. Your device somehow gets reset. You can contact us to get back, logged in, re-download the app, get the restrictions done, all of that. We can certainly help you with that. Anything, and if you're not sure, you can absolutely reach out to us and we'll do the best we can to help you guys. Just keep in mind, it's three of us and we're not tech people technically. We don't have a tech person on staff. We just do the best we can with what we've been given from Apple and honestly from you all, from speech therapists and assistive tech, from the advice and the help that you have given us throughout the years. We learned from you guys. So just bear with us on that and feel free to reach out for any issues or if you're unsure. So that is a little bit about what the My Voice is, what it includes, the AppleCare coverage, and different resources, Apple or Variety, that you can contact. I'm going to turn it over now to our program manager, Molly Crawford, to go over eligibility, the application process, and what it looks like once you apply.
Hi, everyone. I am Molly. To start with, who is eligible, this can be found on our website. And so 4 really important points. You must live in one of the 59 counties that we cover, which are listed here. Again, it's on our website. Child must have a diagnosed communication disorder documented by a certified speech language pathologist. The age must be 2 through 21 years of age, so we have to be able to get the device to the child by their 22nd birthday. And a child who is younger than 2 years can apply 60 days prior to the second birthday. And if it's approved before that, it will not be shipped until the second birthday. And finally, the income. We accept family household incomes up to 500% over federal poverty guidelines. So currently that is $160,750 for a family of 4 that will be accepted. Again, these go up every January and we update them every January with those guidelines. Our application can be found on our website, varietypittsburgh.org/apply now. It can be completed online, or you can download a PDF version of the application. It is your choice. 3 main parts to this. There's the parent guardian application, and that includes their contact information and signatures. We have to have all household members listed. We do collect insurance information, but we do not bill insurance. And if both parents or guardians are listed as members of the household, both parents or guardians must sign the application. I go back to families for that one all the time. The Meridia release page is optional. It is very helpful with that for us when applying for grants and working with new supporters. Income verification, the easiest form of income verification to send us is the tax return or W-2 for each employed member of the household. If that's not easily acceptable, a letter from a school stating that the child participates in free or reduced lunch is a really great option. But there's plenty of other options listed on the application that we accept. And then finally, we're going into the letter of medical justification. So this is for my speech therapist out there. The letter of medical justification is your part of the application. It must be written by a licensed speech language pathologist. We're preferring ASHA certification. You must have completed a trial evaluation with the child using an iPad or some form of high-tech communication device and able to recommend the communication app. So, for example, if you want TD SNAP for a child, you have to have trialed TD SNAP with the child in order for us to approve it. Few things that are really important that people forget a lot. It must be on company letterhead. We must have a formal signature, whether that's wet or official. So typed Times New Roman is not going to cut it. We need your credentials and your contact information, phone and email, please. We email first. Summary of child, their diagnosis and communication disorder, how they're currently communicating, what are their specific communication needs, is the iPad appropriate? How long was the trial? Let us know what your findings were. And then also, where can we mail the device should the application be approved so that the speech therapist can finish customizing for it? We are not speech therapists on staff. We rely on you to do that final customization for the child because you know their specific needs. All right, we're going to speed through this one again to make sure that we're cognizant of your time. Here's an example. LMJ, I'll let you know why I'm emailing this person. So I am emailing Sarah Smith for a couple reasons. Number one, the letter's not on letterhead. Number two, she didn't use her wet or official signature. Can't use that Times New Roman printed name. Won't work. She did not confirm that she trialed TD SNAP with the child. I need that information. And then finally, she did add a wonderful inclusion. She told us where we can ship the device to if approved. All right, your application submitted, so now what happens? Kayla enters the application into the system, takes about a week. The application review and processing of it can take 2 to 6 weeks, depending on time of year. End of the school year is our absolutely busiest time of the year, so remember that when submitting applications. If we're missing anything, if we have any questions, we will reach out to either the family or therapist, depending who's we're asking the question to, by email first. So make sure you're checking those emails. And then once it's approved, we'll add it to our queue for setup and distribution. Again, biggest program. We work through this list constantly, first come, first served. So you're approved. Now what? We notify you. We tell you you're approved. Then we send this transfer agreement to the speech therapist. I will not set up, and neither will Kayla or Deanna set up any devices until we have that signed transfer agreement back. We download the app, restrict the iPad, and then we mail it to the SOP to customize for the child's needs. It is shipped via USPS, and it does require a signature. Once we know it's delivered, we'll send all of the necessary information, including the Apple ID information, to the family's email. And then we ask the speech therapist set up a time to meet with the family, review the device with them, get them started so it can be utilized everywhere. We do have review requirements that you ask you to go over and then sign and return to us. How long does this all take? Our goal is 6 to 8 weeks from approval. Again, this varies depending on time of year. So think, for example, if your school year ends May 30th, you want to get that application in no later than the beginning of April. Trial devices. How do you get them? Because you have to trial it with the child. My favorite is Tech Owl. They're a statewide free lending library. They provide an iPad with up to 3 different communication apps on it for up to 9 weeks. It's great for families to trial at home and in the community, as well as speech sessions. There's the Pennsylvania Training and Technical Assistance Network, aka PATN, for short-term loan programs. That's really all I know about them. And then we have AT vendors. They offer free trials and demo rentals. So 3 great options for you there. And then we're also super, super excited to share with you that we will be having a new variety resource webpage that will include some of the information from here and also extra stuff, how families can utilize the device at home. So if you have any suggestions on things that we should put into this resource page, please send us an email. Okay, I know that was a lot. So this is your time to ask questions. Again, we have it up here. Who's the programs team member for which county? So check which county you're serving, and jot down the email for that person.
I just want to say too, thank you to Caitlin, who pointed out a lot of the intermediate units have lending libraries, and that is absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, any questions? Also feel free to, reach out to your program team staff if you have any specific ones about children you work with, different situations. Again, we really appreciate the feedback we've gotten from speech therapists, assistive tech, from providers everywhere, just to continue to make this program better. That's really our goal, to continue to improve. It's our goal with the new Variety resource page that we're excited to put out pretty soon. We want to have information in there about each of the most popular apps, just guides for families. We know that speech therapists, you guys are very busy. You're very loaded. So anything we can do to help provide resources to families is something else that they can turn to as well. Please let us know. Please send our way. If you have like videos that you use with families or resources, we would love to be able to include that and share with the Variety Network in general.
I would like to throw this out because this was a question that we had earlier today. And it is, how long do we keep our applications? So an application is good for an entire year. We do aim to reach out to a family 3 times if something is missing from the application. So you can always reach out to your designated programs team member to check in on an application and see, but it is kept for a year before we technically expire it if the application has not been completed. Thanks, Megan. We try to be quick. Doesn't always happen.
We do our best with our small but mighty team, as we like to say. Wonderful.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Thanks again. Joe Toff is on now from our board of directors. I mentioned Dave Wessel earlier. Thanks to Lauren Arner from our VMB. And thanks to all you amazing partners across the Commonwealth. We couldn't do it without all of you. So we appreciate you being a friend, an ally, an ambassador for all that Variety is achieving. And thanks again to everyone involved for making this a record-setting year, the most equipment in history in one fiscal year. So we literally couldn't do it without all of you. And congrats again to this trio on the programs team for being so passionate and effective at what they do. They're just doing a great job. So thanks everyone for tuning in today, and we hope you have a good night.